Let's quickly look at this now. Our Chief Executive Officer of Cowrie Assets Limited, Johnson Chuku. He joins me now via Skype to look at this. Mr. Johnson, it's the first work day of the week, and we are welcomed with figures from the NDS. How did this come to you?
Well, I would say that I mostly expected it. One was expecting that we're going to see an uptick in inflation because all the parameters are indicating the fact that we should ordinarily have expected, which we did see, an increase in inflation rate in October.
Okay, now, Mr. Johnson, a quick one. Many talked about the border closure and the effect this would have had on the entire economy, or one way or the other, also on inflation rate. Did you see anything coming up on that line, looking at inflation and effects of border closure?
If you look at the major uptick in inflation, which was the food inflation, which moved from about 13.5 to about 14.09%, it's largely driven by what you may think have to do with the closure of the border. Though if you look at those food element products that actually include things like cereals, tubers, meat, fish, and all those categories of food items, what has happened is that the increase in particularly rice, the price of rice, has actually led to a shift in demand to other food items like tuber, cassava-related food items, yam, potato, and what have you. And what has happened is that we have also seen an uptick or a northward movement in the price of these food items. So one would say that to a reasonable extent, the increase that we saw in inflation in October will, to a large extent, be attributed to the border closure. Remember, that we are in the harvest season. So ordinarily, we should see a downward movement in food prices. But interestingly, we are seeing a sharp movement in food prices. And that can only be attributed to the fact that a major food component, which is rice, has had a sharp increase in its price, and which has led to a shift in demand or consumption to other food items.
Mr. Johnson, I want to shift back again to border closure, which has been a contending issue. Lots of comments, even from international parties, talking about the effects on the positive and negative side. In your own terms, in your words, how does this come to you? Do you see this as a step in the right direction? Are we really getting there with this move?
What we have to recognize the fact that if you close your border against the protection of food items, not just food items, that you have not made any concrete arrangement to produce locally. What you basically do is you shift the price of you push up the price of this item, because certainly the traders or business operators will find ways to bring those products into your country, provided the demand for them are still there. Unless what you are going to do is you are going to have a change in taste or a change in culture that will lead to your people stopping the demand for those products. But as long as you shut your borders to products you do not produce, and there is still local demand for those products, what you will see is an uptick in prices, which is what we are seeing today. Ideally, the closure of the border should have actually come with a concrete and well-defined trade policy and industrial policy that will lead to stimulation in the production of those products, or that will lead to an uptick or improvement in the scale of production. Take, for instance, the issue of rice. Today, we still do not have the capacity to produce enough rice to meet our local consumption. As long as you are not producing enough to meet local consumption, you are going to see the effects on prices. And I feel we should have taken a cue from what the Ghanaian government said they would do. That they said they are going to shut out the importation of rice in the next 3 or 4 years. But they would have put in that, and they would have likely set up local production to meet demand. And that, to me, should have been the approach, a more methodological approach to managing the inflow of goods and services into the country.
On a lighter note, as we move towards the festive season, Mr. Johnson, I should be expecting, or might be thinking, expecting bags of rice. Now, maybe some people are going to be giving out beans this season. Or what do you expect because of the hike in the price and also a little bit of scarcity?
Well, just the way we are seeing a shift in consumption away from rice to tubers, maybe this time around, like you said on a lighter note, people should go home with tubers of yam to give to their families, or bags of garlic to give to their families. But But on a more serious note, we should expect further increase in inflation because the demand for rice will actually shut up further as we approach the yearly tide season. And I do not imagine that the local rice milling factories and the paddy and upland rice producers would have increased their food production, to meet the shortfall in supply. So we should expect further increase in rice, price of rice, and some other staples as people move to eat other things those who can afford rice. Again, the closure of the border is not only affecting the price of food items. You should also expect that the price of several items that come into the land borders will be affected, particularly because of the inefficiency we have in our seaports. So if you have to even do those things through the seaports, the delays in clearing them will lead to a further increase in the cost of their landing costs, and therefore the increase in their price at the shop floor.
All right, Mr. Johnson Chukwudeh, Chief Executive Officer, Cowry Assets Limited. Thank you very much for your time.